Okay, so here I have assembled the bottom layer of the candy tower. So I used Rainbow Nerds, Gobstoppers, and Runts. And I used 3 boxes of Runts, 4 boxes of Nerds, and then 7 boxes of the Gobstoppers to make this bottom layer. And it just so happened that it turned out like even all the way around, with maybe a gap in between like one of the boxes, and these 2 nerds in the back end up together. I didn't measure it out, so if you want it to be even, make sure that you measure the boxes and how you want it to end up all the way across. And for the foam and like support, I just have some foam down here. I went to a lighting store and asked them for some boxes and material because obviously that stuff comes heavily packaged. Ariel, go lay down. So that's what I got from there. And a lot of the boxes had like this little thin foam in there too, which was super helpful. I hot glued all the pieces together on here, and they're staying pretty sturdy. And I glued the base pieces to the cardboard as well, just for extra support. And in here, I put foam in between. That way it's not like wobbling around too much. If something falls in, it'll kick back and hit this foam. So I'm gonna start the second layer here, and I'll be using soft bags. So it's gonna be Fun Dips and Sweetheart Chewies, and I'll probably have some Laffy Taffies staggered in between, because I kind of measured this out right now and it didn't fit exactly. So we'll see how this turns out. Alright, so I start with what I want to be in the front, and then I'm gonna work my way around from there. That way I don't end up with like a gap here in this section that's gonna be seen the most. So I just insert this here to kind of hide some of the foam, and then I will glue it down. Okay, so there you have it. So I didn't like the way the Fun Dip was, or the Smartie was kind of like overlapping. Sorry, the Sweet Tart was overlapping with the Fun Dip. So I just went ahead and took it off, which is the cool thing about, you know, the candy and hot gluing it to this stuff. You can take it off pretty easily without it tearing apart. So I'll just glue this piece here so there's not too many gaps. And then that's it. All right. So this is the front, and then here is what it looks like all the way around. See these two just to fill that gap there, and we're back to the front. Okay, so now I have another piece of black foam here. I'm just gonna cut it out and make like another base support so that you can't see the cardboard in case anything does show through. This is black, it doesn't matter. So okay, so that's gonna sit in there. And then I'm gonna use a square piece of foam to be another base here. So I'd probably glue this down if I wasn't gonna travel with it, but we are traveling to take these to the baby shower. So I'm gonna leave this as a separate piece. That way I can take it apart and then just put it back together when we get there, and fill the empty space down here with candies. So let's get that piece started. Okay, so for this next layer, we have the foam, and I'm gonna be putting little gumball machines, some mega candy buttons, and they actually make these smaller too, and some Smarties. So all these three things were actually bought at Big Lots, and the rest of the candies, actually these were Big Lots too. The rest of the candies were Party City. These I bought them all on Amazon for like $1 or less each box, and they do sell them. Like you can get deals at Walmart too, or Walgreens, but that's just the route I decided to go since I needed a large quantity and, well, Prime, right? Okay, so this is my front again, and I want this yellow one to be in the front for this one. So I'm gonna center it and just glue it down. And I left the foam piece angled, so that way these on each corner will sit there, and I can put the Smarties in between here. Now to cover this white piece, I just put 3 Laffy Taffies along here to hide the foam. Don't mind Ariel here, she's just getting comfortable. Okay, so for this next part, I'm gonna glue the Smarties along the edges here to kind of block in that foam part. So they're kind of long. This is how I bought them, and they're not gonna fit if I try and fit it all in there. It kind of hangs over the Laffy Taffies. So I took out a few Smarties and just wrapped it back up, and it sits perfectly. So you can take out like 2 or 3 on each side, just depending how small you need them to be. This one in the back is going to be a little bit longer since it's going to take up more space. There's not anything to block it. So I only took out, I think, 1 on each side. So let's take these out. So I don't like that it's uneven. So I'm going to take another 2 out of here and then put 1 back on the other side. Wait, took 1 extra out. Alright, so now I'm just going to glue these down. Okay, now for the next little rise here, I'm putting the candy buttons. So what I did for this was I just folded it back and kind of made it look like one solid piece, and I glued it down. And then I take one of the pieces of foam that come in the packages that I got, and I just stuff it in there so it keeps it like a perfect circle. Now you can tear it, cut it, whatever you gotta do to make it the right size. So this one looks a little too thick. It's still kind of bending. I'm gonna get a thinner one. This should be better. All right. And just set it in there how you want it. Looks like I lost a button there somewhere, so I'm just gonna put this piece down here. So now we can do a Wonka hat on top, or I also had these Wonka bar labels printed. I could put that on top as well, hanging over. There's just a lot of things just to, you know, kind of cap it off here. The hat would probably be the cutest thing because it will just sit right here, cover it, and make a nice little shape there.